Hello there all my lovely jewelry makers, I'm Christina at CSLdesigns, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this Zentangle wire weave, and you can use it for whatever you want to, so if you want to learn how to make it, then keep watching. So for this I'm going to be using 6 lengths of my 1mm base wire. And the weaving wire is a 0.4mm and I've left it attached to the reel. So first of all I'm going to grab 1 length of my base wires here and then also my weaving wire. Now I'm going to start towards one end of the base wire and just leave a short little tail on the weaving wire. And then I just want to attach the weaving wire to the base wire first of all by just wrapping it around once. And then we need to one by one attach the rest of the base wires. So I'm bringing in the next one, laying that as the new top one. And then we need to bring the weaving wire over the top of both of them like that and do that twice. So over the top again and just make sure that those wraps are pushed nice and tight. Then I'm going to come up between those two and I can just use that to help push against the wraps to make them tighter. Then bring in the next one and then go over the top of the next top two, come up in the same place and go over the top of them again. Now again come up between those two that we just wrapped over the top of, push down, bring in the next one, place that as a new top one, and then basically we're just going to repeat. So go over the top of the new top two, come up in the same place, do it again, wrap around it second time, and then come up between those two and just repeat the same way until we've added in all of the base wires. And this is then when it looks like when I've added all 6 of my base wires. We kind of created these little steps with the weaving wire, but then to continue what I'm going to do is the weaving wire is coming down behind all of them, then I'm going to wrap around over the top of the bottom 2 base wires, and then I'm just going to make sure that these wraps are going to sit just below the very top 2 that we just did. Do 2 wraps again, so they are sitting below the top 2, and then I'm going to bring it upwards and just go up 1 base wire. So basically I'm now bringing it up right down the middle of them, so in between the 2 middle base wires, and just push that down, then go over the top of the next 2, which means I'm coming down between the top 2. So we're just wrapping around over the top of these 2 base wires here, and we just want to repeat that because we want to do those double wraps every time. So come up in that same place to go over the top of them again. And now what we basically started is we first of all did the first half of the pyramid, you could say, then that middle part, and now we're going down and doing the other half. So we're going to now work our way downwards. So that means I'm going to step down 1 wire again, so come up between these 2 where I have 2 on the bottom and the remaining above it, and then down between the 2 wires that we went over before, come up in that same place so we can do another wrap, and then step down 1 wire again, which means I'm coming up between the bottom 2 and then going over the top of the next 2 and once more, and then we're almost at the bottom as you can see. So I'm just going to go all the way down and then wrap over the top of the bottom 2 base wires, and of course just do the double wrap again. So there we go, and there we basically have the first little pyramid, you could say, with our wrap right there in the middle of it. Then what we want to do now is create a little separation wall here. So I'm going to take my weaving wire and bring it upwards behind the base wires, and then right above where that last wrap is that we did, so straight above it, I'm going to then wrap over the top of the top 2 base wires. So we're now starting from the top and we're going to work our way down, and of course just do it again to get that double wrap, then come up between those 2 base wires and again use that to push down, and then step down to the next 2 base wires to wrap over the top of, up in the same place to do it again. And then basically now we are just going to work our way all the way downwards. So it's kind of just like creating 1 half of the pyramid, just like we did before here when we created the second half. Is basically what we're repeating now. So now I've ended up all the way on the bottom there. We then need to start making the next pyramid, and this one is going to be opposite to the first one. So this one we have the point at the top. This one we're going to create now, the point is going to be at the bottom. So to do that we just need to basically repeat what we just did. So this little separation what we just did, I'm going to bring my weaving wire all the way to the top behind the base wires to wrap around the top 2 by themselves, and do that again, come up between the 2 to wrap over the top of the next 2, stepping down 1, wrap over them again, come up between them and step down 1. As you can see we are just doing the exact same thing that we just did. And then once we're all the way at the bottom again, we need to add that wrap in the middle of the pyramid before we make the other half of it. So just bring the weaving wire up behind all the base wires and just wrap around the top 2 by themselves. Again, do that double wrap. So that is now sitting straight opposite the one that we just did on the bottom, and then go down 1 base wire and come up between the 2 very middle ones, and then wrap around the next 2 base wires down. So we have 1 on the bottom and the rest above it, and then these 2 base wires we just want to wrap around twice. And now it's basically a matter of stepping up again. So step up 1 base wire because we're now creating the other half of this pyramid and making our way all all the way back up to the top. And once we reach up there, we've then completed our second pyramid that's facing the opposite direction to the first one. And now we need to do another separation wall, but this one is going to go in the opposite direction. So they're basically going to follow the sides of the pyramid, you could say. So I'm just bringing my weaving wire all the way down behind, and now I need to start from the bottom. So wrap around the bottom 2 base wires, and these wraps here are going to sit then straight opposite the 2 last ones that we just did on the top. And then we just want to work our way upwards 1 base wire at a time. So step up one, come up between those 2, and go down between the next ones to wrap over the top of the next 2 base wires here. So we're going down through the 2 middle ones now, and then literally just work your way all the way up. And once we reach the top, we've completed that separation wall. Now it's time to make the next pyramid, which is going to be in the same direction as the first one. And you basically just want to continue like this. So just repeat making the first one where we're starting from the bottom, working your way up, create that wrap in the middle of the pyramid, and then come down to the side and finish it off. And you just want to continue like this, alternating from side to side until you have the length that you need. And this is then how the weave ends up looking, and you can of course use it for whatever you want to. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Now if you want to learn other wire weaves, I have a playlist full of tutorials for different ones. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description box down below. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.